You are listening to This is Oklahoma, hosted by Mike Hearn, telling stories of Oklahomans and those that have made it their home.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of This is Oklahoma podcast. Mike Hearn here, your host, back with another episode. Excited to share this episode with you today. But before we do, I've got to thank our sponsors. First of all, the Oklahoma Hall of Fame. They've been a huge part of this podcast for the last few years. So the Oklahoma Hall of Fame have been sharing Oklahoma's story through its people since 1927. For more information on the Oklahoma Hall of Fame, go to www.oklahomahof.com. And for daily updates, go to oklahomahof on Instagram and give them a follow. Our other sponsor today is the Chickasaw Nation. Now, the Chickasaw Nation have sponsored pretty much everything in Oklahoma. They're a huge supporter of Oklahoma. And it's an honor to have their name and their brand supporting this podcast. A huge shout out to Governor Anatobi for supporting this podcast. It really means a lot. And finally, our third sponsor is 988. The Oklahoma 988 Mental Health Lifeline. 988 is a direct 3-digit lifeline that connects you with trained behavioral health professionals that can get all Oklahomans the help that they need. Learn more by visiting 988oklahoma.com. That's 988oklahoma.com. And now, let's get into today's episode. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the podcast, part 2 of our Chickasaw Country episodes. Hopefully you've listened to part 1. If you haven't, I'll link that below. But part 2, back on the podcast, it's Paige Shepherd and April Green. Will you guys remind the listeners what it is your role is with Chickasaw Country before we dive into our topic today?
Well, I am the Tourism Marketing Assistant Director for Chickasaw Country, and my main role is to promote the destination to potential visitors and both internationally, nationally, regional. So we're just here to promote our area.
Yeah, and you worked for the nation for how long?
19 years.
19 years. Awesome. So good. I love it when people are like at a job for a long time because it shows they truly love what they're doing.
Well, we're blessed. So, anyway. The nation is a great employer.
Paige, what about you?
Yeah, Paige Shepherd, Director of Tourism for the Chickasaw Nation. I've been here 14 years, and the same job for 14 years, and I have not done the same thing one day within those 14 years. So I love it, and it keeps me very busy, and sometimes it makes me take deep breaths, and sometimes for either excitement of everything that's going on or like overwhelming of like, wow, there's so many great things that we could be doing. But yeah, love Chickasaw Country and promoting it as a travel and tourism destination and the premier First American travel and tourism destination in the United States.
Awesome. Well, for people listening, if you didn't listen to part 1, I'll put that in the description. So part 1, we talked about 10 things you may not know about Chickasaw Country. Today, we are going to talk about where you can go, where the influencers go. And because it's all about the gram, it's all about taking an epic photo and experiencing amazing things. I have a long list of places in Chickasaw Country for you guys to go to, because back to our previous episode, one stat that I'm going to reread from my cheat sheet is that the Chickasaw Country consists of 13 counties covering 7,648 square miles and 11% of Oklahoma, and a total of 68,597. It's massive, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So there's plenty of places for you to go. So if you're listening and you're from all over the state, or you want to go visit all over the state, you can use this list of places to go and take epic family photos when you get there, or photos with you and a girlfriend or a dog or whoever your loved one is. With me, it would probably be my wife going and I'd be taking photos of her and the dogs. But if we guys want to do the same as what we did in part 1, somebody take the odds and somebody take the evens, and we can sift through this epic list of locations.
Sure. Yeah. You know, we break our influencers come, we have different kinds. We have family, we have foodies, we have different type of influencers. But when our families come, we really want them to see a bunch of our really cool things. So Arbuckle Wilderness is some place that has been around for decades in the Arbuckle Mountains. It's a drive-through safari park where you can go and you can feed, the animals in your car, or in some cases you can get out and walk up to the fenced area and feed them there. But it's really exciting. You never know if you're going to have a zebra sticking his head in the window or a camel sticking their head through the sunroof or whatever. But it's a very nice area to go and see the exotic animals, the reptiles, the zebras, bison, antelope. So it's really cool. The kids love it, but adults love it as well. So and the scenery, just being in the Arbuckle Mountains is really cool. So that's a great family place.
Close by. We talked about in the last episode, so check it out if you didn't listen. But Turner Falls Park, we talked about that. But inside Turner Falls Park, actually above Turner Falls Park, is 777 Zip, which is a 2-seater zip line across Turner Falls in the Arbuckle Mountains. They even had, there's some clips of dogs doing some zip lining that we have from Chickasaw Country, but it's a really great way to check out the Arbuckle Mountains right across Turner Falls.
It scares me a little bit, but I'm just a baby. I have not done it because I just can't get the nerve. I think the thing that gets me is they pull you up backwards,
kind of slingshot you,
and then they send you down. And I like to know where I'm going. A little bit of a control freak there, but I like to know where I'm going. But if you're into that type of zip lining down in Ardmore, the clubhouse, which is fairly new, about 1.5 2 years old location. The clubhouse, it has a zip line there. It's go-karts, it's an arcade, mini golf. So they have lots of things like that to do for the whole family. Or, guys or girls, they want to go and run the go-karts into each other and see who's the biggest winner and all of that. And in the winter now they have an ice skate rink. So that's a cool thing. I mean, I'm not an ice skater. Now give me the regular skates, I'm all about it, but ice skates, can't do it.
Thing.
Not my thing.
We've been talking about a lot of transportation that's not via foot. I feel like everything we've talked about thus far is but what about horse?
Oh yeah.
There's horse trails, so Arbuckle Trail Rides and Lake Murray Riding Stables, 2 really great places to go and get a trail ride experience with a guide. They can also talk about the beautiful area of Chickasaw Country.
Yeah.
So we're all about these different means of transportation, modes of transportation here.
There you go.
Today for the family.
There you go. Well, and another thing that back in the olden days, when I was a kid, we would go to the drive-in movies. You don't see a lot of them now, but Chickasaw
Country.
Now. Oh, it's
COVID.
Cool now.
It came back during COVID. It's like the thing.
And Chickasaw Country has one of the oldest ones. The Chief Drive-In in Chickasha is located, on the outskirts of Chickasha, but it's open year-round, and they're not just showing old movies. I mean, they're showing new releases, so you can load up. Now you can go and sit in the back of your truck in a sleeping bag and just cuddle up, or in the summer just go and sit out there and enjoy the good movies, and just do it in a way that you don't get to do all the time. So
talking about movies, toy and action figures.
Oh yeah.
I'm not a toy and action figure movie type of girl. But if you like toy and action figures, we talked about it in the last episode, but the Toy and Action Figure Museum, Pauls Valley, great place to go. And then I talked about in the last episode too, some seasonal fun. So we have pumpkin patches with agritourism. We have corn mazes, agritourism, haunted houses, all that kind of agritourism stuff that's really great. And then going into holiday lights. It's a big holiday light season. I mean, we have Ardmore, we have Chickasha, we have Purcell, we have Sulphur, we have
the Cultural Center has their lights.
Chickasaw Cultural Center has their lights.
Did you say Ardmore?
Ardmore. I started with Ardmore.
There you go.
I started in the A's, and then I went non-alphabetically after that.
There you go.
And then Ada.
Oh, Wintersmith
Park.
Yes.
They've got some too. So great place to go check out lights, but yeah.
And lots of parades. I mean, Chickasaw Country's known for their holiday parades. Every holiday. But the Christmas parades are off the charts. I mean, they're lighted parades. I mean, there's just small town America, they get into their holiday events. So if you're looking for something to do on a Friday, Saturday night, load up and head to one of our website and find out what parade's happening that weekend and head out.
Yep. So it's a good roundup of family stuff.
I know.
But what other type of groups we like? We like the couples.
Couples. I don't know about couples. I'm a single girl, so I don't know about the couple. But this is this is it, Paige. I'm gonna tell you if I was a couple where I'd want to go and stay.
Where are you gonna go?
I want to go stay at the Artesian. Oh, the Artesian in Sulphur is amazing. It's beautiful. I dream about staying there with as a couple. But no, I just go and look, and then I, stay as a single.
You can stay single people too. We don't only take couples at the Artesian, folks.
But a couples massage at the Serenity Spa, which is in the top-rated spas in the United States every single year. And then the food. I mean, you've got Bedre Cafe. You've got the Springs at the Artesian. You've got the little candy store that has the swirl, the yogurts, and all the candy. That's my favorite because I have a sweet tooth. So, I'm really into the Artesian.
And down the road is Rusty Nail Winery.
I can go drown my sorrows.
She's not drowning anything, folks. But Rusty Nail is super close. It's walking distance from the Artesians. It's this quaint little main street of Sulphur, if you've never been.
And all their wine are based on shoes, like high heel shoes. It's so cute.
Yeah, so that's a really great place to go. And it's a mother-daughter winery.
I know.
We've been talking in our previous episode how much Chickasaw Country is about family and about connection and about community. So this mother-daughter group said, we're going to open a winery.
It's been around a long time. They've got longevity there. So
absolutely.
That's good. And then, if you're over in the Tishomingo area,
Not far.
I mean, that's a great place for couples. The Mulberry Bar, and now they've opened the Mulberry Inn. It's a bed and breakfast, or the Inn at Mulberry, and it's
Blake Shelton used to own it.
Blake Shelton used to own it, so you can stay there, walk across, listen to some live music, go to the spa, do that. So, I mean, the Mulberry, Tishomingo downtown, they got it going on.
And then go to Duncan.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna go west.
Yes, you are.
We're going to go west on Highway 7.
Stevens County.
Stevens County. And we're going to go to the Kirkendorfer Brewery.
There you go.
Which is born and bred in Duncan, America. And the brewers are global. They're global trekkers. They've traveled all over the world. They've experienced brewing in other states and other countries. And now they have their own place here in Chickasaw Country, in Duncan.
And it's really cool. They have the live games. They even have a walking trail. So you can go, eat, have a few things to drink, and then walk off your...
Yeah, and the outdoor patio?
Yeah, outdoor patio.
Yeah, so they have a lot of games and activities.
It's really cool.
It's a really great go and hang out for a couple hours type of location.
It is. I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun people there. So,
yeah.
Chickasaw Country is known for its culture. I mean, we are the Native American destination in the United States.
Absolutely.
And we're blessed to have so many great cultural destinations, that share the culture of the Chickasaw people, and their story tells their story. And if you are a culture seeker, if you love that history and that culture, then you need to make your way to Sulphur. Start there. Do Chickasaw National Recreation Area, which is the only time, Paige, and make sure I'm getting this right, that a Native American tribe is given land back to a federal government for preservation. So it just shows how the tribes work well and are good partners and good stewards of the land. So, I mean, there you get to hike, you get to fish, you see baby bison, and, just get out and explore nature, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So...
Absolutely.
And then it backs up to...
It's connected to, adjacent, via a bridge. The Chickasaw Cultural Center, which we talked a little bit about earlier with their holiday light display. Yes. But the Chickasaw Cultural Center opened in 2010, and it is a fantastic cultural experience.
Yes.
This is no museum. This is an experience, and it's an immersive experience. You are immersed in the culture and the food and the physical structures of a traditional village and how Chickasaws would have lived in the late 1700s. So it's a really great opportunity to learn about the Chickasaw culture, to learn about the Chickasaw people, and then to apply what you've learned at different areas areas throughout the cultural center. They have a horticulture aspects that are really highlighting how the plants that are even planted there are native to Oklahoma, or how they are used by Chickasaw people traditionally. And so it's just a really great experience. It's not a one-time destination. I feel like you got to continually go back. They have programs, they have
Different
events and exhibits that you really need to go check out.
Well, and one thing that I enjoy is talking to the citizens that are working there, and you walk in and somebody will be doing a beadwork, or they'll be making a bow and an arrow or something. So able to talk to them about how they learned to do it, and the stories, or how it's passed down to the generations, and why it's important. So every time you go, you learn something new, and it's definitely something everybody should see. And then Tishomingo, I'm kind of the Tishomingo person, because it's such a small community and such a great place. But the Chickasaw Council House Museum is located there, and the first council house, the Chickasaw's first council house, is preserved inside the building. So you have a building inside a building. I mean, where do you see that? Not very often. But you have that there, and they have a large collection of Chickasaw artifacts, and it's free and open to, and everybody loves free. It's free and open to the public. And across the street down away from it is the Chickasaw Bank Museum. And again, another place filled with the history of the Chickasaw people, and the banking part of it and things like that. So
and then right across the street you have the Chickasaw National Capitol, which is in Tishomingo. Yep. It was built in 1898.
It's beautiful.
For $15,000. What can you build for $15,000 anymore? I don't know about anything.
Yeah, but back then that was a
lot of money.
I don't know how much that is.
Yeah,
back then that was a lot of money.
1898, that was a ton. And the rock that they used from the quarries down there.
It's beautiful.
The limestone, it is just
the architecture.
Yeah.
To think how they knew how to build that in that day and age just goes to.
Okay, what do you got there?
I have it. $1,500 in 1898 was a lot of money. It was $555,000. Oh. $555,992.54 as of today.
Wow.
I don't think you could build that building though for that amount. It's gorgeous.
Well, first of all, I don't know that people know how to build like they built back then and built that. So it's beautiful. And it's free too. It is free.
Go check it out.
Exactly. Everything, it's
not everything.
We're very inexpensive to come and visit. We're very affordable.
Yeah.
Very affordable.
I like to say the word attainable. It's a lot of attainable travel.
Yep.
You don't have to spend a lot of money, but you sure are culturally enriched.
Yes, you get a good bang for your non-buck.
Yes.
There you go. And then a place that's really cool, because I love the Victorian architecture, is the Chickasaw White House in Milburn. Milburn is the address, but it's kind of what they call Emmett. So if you're from that area, some people may say it's in Emmett, but it's, GPS is going to say Milburn.
Yep.
And I want you to know that. But it's a Victorian home, and it was the home of the former governor Douglas Johnson, and he lived there with his family. It's been restored, and it's just beautiful. They host events out there in the lawn, like they'll do kite sailing day. They'll do tea parties. They'll do things like that. But it just represents. It has a lot of the artifacts of when he lived there and things like that. So it's beautiful, and it's listed on the National Registry of Historical Places. So
we're in this we're going to deliver you things built in the 1800s, because next we're going to Fort Ouachita.
Oh yeah,
built in 1842. Strong era in Chickasaw Country for historical landmarks. So it's in the southwestern region of Chickasaw Country. And it's in Chickasaw Country, but it has a Durant address, which can kind of be confusing because Durant's not in Chickasaw Country. It's in Choctaw Country. So kind of those that are looking on a map could be a little confusing. But it is a historic site of the military, and the U.S. Historical Society acquired that site. And then more recently, the Chickasaw Nation has taken over operations of that site. We have great events there. The Halloween event and the Christmas events are the two main ones I'm thinking about, but it's a year-round destination, and you should go and check that out.
Yep, yeah, it's got a lot. That rendezvous that they have, the rendezvous event, and I've heard it is amazing. I have not yet made it, but it is. Kayla that works here, she loves it. She goes every year. So they have a lot of good programming and stuff that you can go and learn more. So that's good.
And correction, it's the southeastern corner of Chickasaw Country.
Yes.
But it was the southwesternmost military post for the United States. Yeah. So for those who are geographically concerned with my knowledge,
there
it
you go.
is the southeastern portion of Chickasaw Country, but the southwesternmost military point of the United States.
There you go. You're entitled to one.
Nope. I called myself out.
There you go. There you go. Well, and we have so much great First American culture in Chickasaw Country, but we also are very known for our cowboy and Western culture. The Chisholm Trail Heritage Center in Duncan is it's amazing. They have it's a 4D experience theater that you go, you can feel the wind blowing, you can smell the dirt, you can smell bacon, you feel the rain. So, I mean, they're talking about, the Chisholm Trail, how they were moving the cattle from, down around San Antonio up through our area up to Abilene, Kansas. And so they're telling you that, and so you're experiencing everything that they experienced. And then there's the Garris Art Gallery there that has some phenomenal pieces. I mean, like right now,
American artists,
a lot of like right now, Mike Larson has got an exhibit there.
Chickasaw artists,
the Chickasaw artists. Beautiful paintings and sculptures. So, you're going to go, you're going to get a feel of the West, and then experience some world-class art in Duncan, right there in Stevens County again.
So we've talked family, we've talked couple, we've talked culture. I mean, the only thing left is food. Like we talked about food earlier, we're going to talk about food again. So we're going to talk about some top spots to experience in Chickasaw Country. Though there are a plethora, we're just going to highlight a couple. So, I mean, who can talk about Chickasaw Country without talking about Smokin' Joe's?
Nobody.
I don't think so either. So Davis, Oklahoma, right off Interstate 35, near Turner Falls and Arbuckle Wilderness, which we talked about earlier, 77 Zip, Crossbar Ranch. All these things are right there. Medra is right there.
Exactly.
Chickasaw Nation Welcome Center. I mean, we got a lot going on in this area, and it's one of the most popular barbecue restaurants in the state of Oklahoma.
Oh, they built a landing strip by it so that you can just fly in there.
Yeah, and it's family owned for 3 generations.
The Wells are good people.
Yeah.
You go there, Joe will be there. He'll come out. He'll sit at your table. You won't get to eat because he'll be talking. But it's the people and the recipes.
And the recipes. Because you know what? They have this dessert called the strawberry cloud. I asked what's in it. They refused to tell me.
Mama Bobo's.
But
Sugar.
it is
a lot of
Mama Bobo's.
But it's so good.
It is so good.
Yeah.
I
only know whipped cream and marshmallow. I got that when I tasted it, but I'm like, I guess I don't want to recreate it. I just want to go there and eat it.
Yeah.
But it's good.
It is really good.
So check it out.
Well, and then when you finish there, even though you've had the strawberry cloud, you still have to get an Arbuckle fried pie.
That's when you go back to savory. You can just like...
No, not me. I'm just going to stick with
You're going to stick with all the sugar?
I'm going to stick with all the sugar. But the good thing about it is that you can get them and take them home.
Freeze them.
And they're frozen, and then you can even cook them at home.
So leading into the holidays, you know what my favorite one is? Pecan pie.
Pecan. It's the crust.
Inside
the crust is on the outside, and the pecan.
Yeah, and it doesn't have the nuts. It's just like the creamy filling on the inside.
It is so
If you haven't had the pecan pie one, legit, it's my favorite.
It is the best. We have over 20 flavors.
But in my mind, it's kind of like, I only have eyes for you.
Exactly.
Pecan pie. That's how I feel.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Yeah, but they do have others.
They do. They have sweet and savory. I'm a sweet girl. Gonna stick with them. I'll let you or somebody else try the savory.
So I technically have the next one on the list, but it's in Marlow. And this is like Angel's, one of her favorite restaurants, so I'm not going to steal her thunder.
Giuseppe's. It's in an old bank building. It's been open for, I don't know how many years, 20 plus years. It has the best Italian food I think I've ever had in my life. But I'll also say this. It's got a wonderful steak. It has a great steak, but it has a vault. And so if you have with your couple or somebody special, you can go into this vault and they have a little table in there so you can eat in the vault and all of that. And it's just, I mean, people come. It's open very few days, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And but people come from all over the state to eat at Giuseppe's. And I'm telling you, it is, oh yeah, it's good. It's Italian at its finest.
So we've got a lot of.
We just had a moment there.
We've had a. I mean, it's her hometown. I was like, I gotta give it to her.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
If I could talk Italian, I would. But you know, Italian in Marlow, America, just doesn't come out very good.
Does not go together at all.
No, but like we've got a lot of iconic places we've been around for a really long time. We've talked about a couple, but Bob's Pig Shop is another one. Opened in 1933.
Wow.
Pauls Valley. I mean, it's been there a long time. I mean, they do all the smoking of all the meats that you could think of: brisket, ribs, bologna. I mean, iconic.
I know it is. It's a good place, and it's so unassuming. I mean, it's just this small little place. I mean, and you just drive past and you're like, "What?
A shop? It's a shop.
It is
Traditional term
good.
of a shop.
It is good. Well, and you can't talk about food without talking about Old Red's and Blake again. You know, again, his first Old Red restaurant that he put out, and you know, the one thing about it is I'm a big music person. Two things I like to do: eat and listen to music. So what better way to do it than at Old Red's, eat and listen to live music. And if you like a Bloody Mary, they have one that's really pretty. I mean, it's got stuff stuck in it.
Is it the one with like the bacon?
It's got bacon. It's like 14 feet tall because it's all the stuff that's in it. So they have a great bar selection, live music, outdoor music. So lots of good Southern cooking there, which I like.
Yeah. So, I mean, we have a couple others that we just want to highlight because there's so many great places to go within Chickasaw Country. But Cafe Alley is in Ardmore. Also in Ardmore is Mill Street Tavern. So we got a couple Ardmore locations in Sulphur. Everyone talks about Fat Bullies. We've sent some influencers to Fat Bullies.
The hamburgers, I heard they were good.
Yeah. Jake's Ribs and Chickasaw. I mean, that's been around for a long time. If you're there, seeing the leg lamp year round, go ahead, go check it out. We talked about the leg lamp in the last episode, so check out Jake's Rib as well. Joe's Famous Pizza in Purcell.
Everyone knows
I was like, it is literally like famous.
Yes.
So I know people like when they come up, you know, to me, we office in Oklahoma City, but Chickasaw Nation is headquartered in Ada. And so people will say, yeah, I'll come up. I'll be there at about 1 o'clock because I'm a stop at Joe's on my way up to eat pizza. So love that that's there. You talked about Old Red's already. And then kind of a higher end, Flower Bluff Manor in Sulphur is a really great place. We've sent influencers there as well. It's not far from the Artesian, great menu. So whether you're looking for kind of the hole in the wall experience, the mom and pop restaurant, a higher end experience, Chickasaw Country has a bunch of food.
Yes.
The other one that stood out that I remembered was Folgers in Ada.
Folgers. When you were talking about the hamburgers, I thought your buddy had probably been to Folgers.
That's the one he sent me to. When I did the podcast with Gona and Sebi, we went straight there for lunch after.
But only like 6 people can eat there. I mean, it's like it's that big butt. I mean, people will wait for hours, just to get in there. It's I mean, we have some like Hamburger Inn in Ardmore.
I was like Hamburger Inn's another one.
They've got good hamburgers and the pies and. Talking about Cafe Alley, the carrot cake, the cream.
Remember, guys, she said she likes sweets.
Yeah, so that's why I need to walk that mile at Windstar so I can eat the carrot
cake. And the trails at Kirkendorfer.
There you go. See, I have
CNRA.
There you go.
We get her mobile out.
There you go. It's a balance. It's a balance.
That's a fantastic resource for anybody, not just a bunch of influencers who like to take photos of food before they eat it. Yeah. I'm guilty. I mean, ladies, it's been an absolute blast. Again, for people listening, if you haven't gone to part 1, go to part 1. I'll link it in the description, and then also go to Instagram at Chickasaw Country on Instagram and ChickasawCountry.com website. I'll link both of those below as well. And we will catch you guys next episode. And maybe if you go one of these places, you will meet the wonderful ladies we've had on the podcast chowing down on some epic dessert or food or hamburgers.
Or walking
through Woodstock. So, thanks so much for listening. We'll catch you next episode. Cheers.
Hope you guys enjoyed that great episode. Thank you so much for listening. As always, huge shout out to our sponsors, the Oklahoma Hall of Fame, sharing Oklahoma story through its people since 1927. For more information on the Oklahoma Hall of Fame, go to www.oklahomahof.com and follow them on Instagram for daily updates at OklahomaHOF. Our other sponsor, the Chickasaw Nation, amazing sponsor. They do amazing things for the state, and they're always sponsoring something in Oklahoma. They're a huge supporter of Oklahoma, and without their support, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. And finally, our third sponsor for today, the Oklahoma 988 Mental Health Lifeline. 988 is the direct 3-digit lifeline that connects you with the trained behavioral health professionals that can get all Oklahomans the help that they need. Learn more by visiting 988oklahoma.com. It's 988oklahoma.com. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. We are inspired by those around us and hope that you are too. Make sure you subscribe to this podcast on your favorite podcast platform and leave us a review so we can keep telling your stories. For more great Oklahoma content, follow This Is Oklahoma on Facebook and Instagram.